Yes, and we'll do that pretty soon. Okay, well, welcome everyone. We do have several people online uh, and so I appreciate all of you being with us and those of you that are here today. We do have one new person, Lauren, so we want to welcome her. And the some of us are regulars. Angie is our vice president of our board. Serena is on our board, and I'll talk a little bit about Serena in just a second. But anyway, hopefully you can meet some of these people and connect with them outside of this group. Um, but I am Deb Davis, and those of you that have heard this several times. I am the co-founder of this organization. It's a local group. The other founder was Lynn Grace, and she transitioned a few months before we were going to start this organization 4 years ago. Uh, she celebrated her birthday in September, so we're celebrating her heavenly birthday today with cheesecake. And if you don't eat a piece in this meeting, you have to take one with you. You have to take a piece of red velvet or cheesecake with you because we cannot take it home with my husband and I. I'll eat it all. And I'm recovering from a spinal fusion surgery, so I'm not able to bend, twist, or pick up things off the floor. So I'm not getting in my activity that I was used to getting in. So I definitely can't handle any more calories than that. But I want to thank you all for your prayers. The surgery went super well, and the recovery process has been short of a miraculous recovery. It really has. When the surgery was over, I did believe it was going to take me 6 months to a year to fully recover. Now I'm realistically thinking I can do this in 6 weeks. So I do believe that I had some special prayers from all of you, but mainly I want to thank Serena for doing a Reiki grid. I don't know if you're familiar with Reiki grids. I was not. I'm learning so much from Serena. But I do believe that whatever that is, and I'm going to share more about it, I do think that was very instrumental in getting through the surgery and my recovery, as well as Tony McKnight. She has an organization, not an organization, it's a business where she can look at your soul. And she told me that there were going to be 4 angels in the surgery room with me. And I do believe they were all there. I really do. And there's a little cartoon that I sent around that shows a mother going out the door. Her 2 kids are going out the door. And there's 2 little angels, one over each of the children's heads. And the mother is saying, "Goodbye, all of you." And she's talking about her 2 little children and the 2 little angels over each of her children's heads. And I thought, if we would realize early on in our lives that we do have guardian angels and we have spirit guides, wouldn't our lives be a lot less complicated? And we would feel, I know that many of us do know that God is in our lives, but to know that an angel is with you at all times, we had 4 of them in the surgery room. I mean, it just made me go in much more confident that things were going to be okay, because I figured one of them was in charge of my doctor. And he did an excellent job. And so for that, I'm very, very thankful. So thank you again. And I know that too, I believe that that Lynn's with me, and she's been with us for 4 years now, and she's helped a lot, and we've had a lot of you helping us grow. And because of that, we do a little participation gift, and so we can do that drawing, and we have a little participation gift that's donated by Helma. She's not here today. But get out your lucky number, and Angie's going to read the last few numbers. And we'll see what Martha draws. Martha is usually the lucky one. 627. It's Angie. All right. Well, you deserve to win. I want to see what that is. Because Helma's now providing those gifts each month, which is such a nice thing for her to do. I don't always get to see what's in them. And but I was providing candles that apparently were toxic. So she said, let me provide these nice little gifts. So she's done wooden spoons and all kinds of things. So we're thankful for that. Where'd you get it, Angie? Okay. Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Well, last month we had okay, so our gift this month is provided by Helma, and it's a lot of different little gifts. One of them is got butterflies on it, ribbons with butterflies, and a little keychain. So, but the butterfly reminded me of last month's meeting where we did the art activity with, some of you weren't here for that, but we did a art activity with colors, and our chakras were read by Dr. Phil, our speaker, Dr. Phil DeLong from Casadega. So that was a really fun little activity. All right, let's talk just briefly. I know some of you, well, I guess it was just Serena and I that got to go to the conference, the IANDS conference in Illinois, and it was just a great opportunity to meet so many different people. Serena was there. My daughter came with me, so we got to sit in on Serena's class with her friend. And then we got to hear Mark Anthony speak. He did an absolutely phenomenal historical type review of how near-death experiences have been with us from the beginning of time. And that was a tremendous, hello, come on in. That was a tremendous presentation that he did. And again, I'm really looking forward to Mark being one of our speakers one day soon. I really hope that he can be a speaker in 2026. We're full for the year of 2025. We have all the speakers we need, and now I'm filling up the calendar for 2026. So very excited about that. And if Mark should do a topic, we're hoping maybe he can do some readings for us, and we'll see how that works out. But okay, let's see. Raymond Moody was there, and I had never met him, but he is the father of the near-death experience term. Not until 1975 when Raymond Moody started researching and studying near-death experiences did he coin the term near-death experience. So we finally had words to go with what was happening, and that was very interesting to hear his talk. Some of you remember Alicia Rushton. She talked about our DNA and how important our DNA is to us, and how we can even change our DNA, move it, because we're all energy, and we can actually, she taught us how to use different techniques to move that energy and move that so that it can get out of our bodies. And as I've been experiencing these spinal issues the last 15 years or so, I thought, wow, I need to look at what's going on in me and fix some things that are something emotionally going on with me. I had a gallbladder taken out. I had this neck stuff going on. I had to have a surgery. And then now I've had this spinal fusion surgery. And I'm thinking, wow, I need to work more on the inside and work with my soul more. So I recommend you working with Serena, working with Tony McKnight. I can send you their contacts because they can help you heal your soul. And now what I'm realizing more than anything is that that's what we need to heal. That's who we are. We are our soul. And this is just a broken down vehicle that I'm wearing around here. So, and it is breaking down, and but I do know that I can take better care of it if I take care of the inside of me, my soul. So those are things I'm learning, and I know you're here to learn. And if there's, we do have books and information for you if you want to read some of our books. They're free. Our library is not all here today. We brought only one box out of 5. My husband, Mike, has to haul them all in, and we had the cakes and all that. So I said, we'll just bring one box. But anyway, if you ever want to look through our library and you want to contact me and say, hey, can I come over to your house and look through your books? That's an option too. That I don't have to bring them every time to the meetings. But anyway, they're free for you to read. And then when you're through reading them, you can return them or pass them on. We kind of like you to return them now so others can read them. But anyway, we're very happy with all the library books that we're getting. All right. We want to give our speaker, Miss Tina Angeli, an opportunity to speak for about an hour and a half, and then have time for you to ask her some questions. When I am learning about a new speaker, one of the things I try to do is learn from them. I like to read their books. She wrote a book, We Are Angels. And I like to see, I think they're so special, these people who have had near-death experiences or transformative experiences. And I know we all have to some degree, but I like to see where we are similar. Her childhood experience in some ways was very similar to mine. I'm not going to get into that exactly, and she might want to get into it. But it was our hi there. I don't know, she's got the wrong door. But so Tina and I had a childhood experience that was similar. And then she ended up having a divorce situation, which I could resonate with, unfortunately. And then she learned from that. And then she ended up remarrying a Michael. And I married a Michael. And our Michael seemed to be somewhat alike, analytical and maybe not quite as spiritual. We're pulling them along. But anyway, it's fun to see how much I can learn from these speakers, and that's why I love having them. I love having them either on Zoom or in person so we can touch them and realize they're just like us. They're just like us, except that they've had these unusual learning experiences throughout this journey. And she certainly has had some really unusual experiences that I want her to share with you. And I hope you'll get her book. It's an ebook on Amazon. It's called We Are Angels, and she'll explain why she named it that. Oh, and that's the other thing we have in common. She has 4 little granddaughters, and I have 3. But I do have 5 grandchildren, and they're very precious to us. And we think of them as our little angels. In fact, I call my grandchildren my angels. Sometimes they may not act like that, but neither does their grandmother. So anyway, Tina, are you ready to join us? We're ready to hear from you if you're, there you are. And let's welcome Tina to our group.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
Deb. I appreciate you inviting me. Okay, so could you tell me, I know how many are online, but could you tell me how many people are in person?
Yes, you want to see them? Maybe we can. There are 2, 4, 6, 8. Oh, that's right. Thank you. There, can you see them?
Yes,
I didn't maybe
very
get them. There they
thank
are. You're welcome. Um, and then we have 4 or 5 people online. We have Lynn's family's online. She has a grandson and um, a granddaughter and a daughter online. So they're with us today online. Okay, Tina, back to you.
All right. So I will, first of all, my book was being written. It took 10 years to finally finish it. And it was interesting because it was done, most of the writing, it was all inside of me, but most of the writing was finished after my ex-husband passed away. It was some kind of a like a release situation, which is fine. Um, I I had three. I can't call the first one a near death experience because it was more like a transformative, a life transforming experience. When my sister died, and I was 2 years old, she was one. And that's right after that, that's when I started having, I used to call her my beautiful lady, the visitor, the beautiful lady that didn't have any wings. It was a more like a veil type of outfit that she would come in at night after my parents fell asleep, and she would stay with me until I fell asleep. She was floating, and I remember so vividly the soles of her feet because she would float around me, and sometimes she would play little games with me. And I learned later. I don't know why I didn't tell. I didn't share this with anybody. It felt like, not that I was trying to keep it a secret. It just didn't seem like it was necessary to share. It felt like maybe everybody else also had floating people around, and so it was a very healing situation because after my sister died, my father he started drinking, and every time he would come home, for some reason he would blame me for her death. So that was a very crazy situation. And of course, after my father died, he came and uh, apologized to me many years later. But so when I was about 8 years old, for some reason, I realized that it was not normal to see floating people around who were not human. And so I felt I didn't want to be different. I felt like I didn't want to deal with that anymore. So I said, please, I don't want to deal with this right now. I don't want to see this. And so my wishes were definitely honored. I no longer saw her. And then as I went on with my life, I I got married. I had 3 kids. One passed away at birth. It was not an easy situation. But when I was, my 2 daughters were uh, possibly between 4 and 7. We were at a lake here in Connecticut, and I was keeping an eye on them. And for some reason, I tripped on something, and I never learned how to swim. So the harder I would try to come up from the water, the deeper I would go. And it was very painful of, swallowing the water. And all of a sudden I heard this snap, like somebody was snapping a finger, and the pain just went away. I knew that I had water inside of me, but the pain was no longer there. And I started to see visuals of like a slideshow of different situations, and I didn't recognize some of them. And when I would question, what is that? Like I was confused. Again, I would hear a snap, and I would get the clarity of what those experiences were. Some were past lives in connection with my husband at the time in previous lifetime, where he had actually caused my death, um, and some were future events that had not yet happened, and they showed me very, very clearly that my situation with my husband was only going to get worse. The abuse was going to be very, very difficult. So I was also reminded, as I was still in the water, that I would not have to go through this alone. That help would always be there for me to remember that. So then a friend of mine, not my husband, but a friend of mine saw me struggle, and she pulled me out of the water. And as I was uh, choking the water and getting the water out of me. It was so painful. I it was quite interesting because after that, it was this incredible focus that somehow I needed to find a way to get out of this marriage. And of course, the energy on the earth is very dense, and it takes a lot longer to process things than we would want to at times. Hold on a second. And of course, going through this is it's like reliving it, but it's okay because I feel that we have these experiences, and if we don't share them with others, what good are they, right? So I continued with my life, and I finally did find the courage to get the divorce, and he was oblivious to the whole thing. He couldn't understand why all of a sudden I had to change, and there was a lot of abuse. I remember one time he even took his belt out and used it on me. But anyway, so I was very focused on and did not want my two daughters to think that's the way a man was supposed to treat a woman. That's what kept me going. So I finally got out of that and continued with my work and raising the kids by myself. And then I went to school to get a degree. So it was quite interesting. It was very, very focused on just surviving. I guess that's a word I can use. And as a matter of fact, one time, even my mother said, "How did you have the courage to do all this?" And I said, "Ma, I did what I had to do. I didn't have any other choice." That's how I felt. And so eventually the kids, they they went to school. They did very well. I Then they got married, and it wasn't until after I retired from the state of Connecticut that it was like a different lifestyle for me. It was like I had graduated from something, and I started to do my work. I started to a group here, a meditation channel group out of my home, and people just showed up, and I had that going on actually for 17 years, which stopped after COVID. But so as I was living my life, what really helped, and I remember I kind of did, I thought about how did I get through this. And I remember that I was told that I would not have to do that alone, that there would be help from the other side. And that was very, very, very helpful, because honestly, I don't know if I could have done it by myself. Anyway, so that's that. And then I met Michael. That was an interesting, totally different than my previous husband. Um, he's an engineer. He's retired now, but once an engineer, always an engineer. And the way he deals with what I do is he has to somehow find humor in it. That's his way. But he's a good soul. He supports me, even though he doesn't understand what this is about. He supports me because he hears the feedback from people. So then my second, oh, and I was told from my IANDS when I told my story that was considered my first near-death experience when I drowned. That was considered a life review. Okay, because I saw the past, I saw the future. I mean, I even saw past lives. I don't even know if other people see that, but anyways, that's what I saw. But I felt changed. It felt like the energy had changed within me. I didn't see things the same way as I did before. It felt like the veil, that veil of consciousness that we come with on the earth to do our dramas that we all signed up for, our contracts. It was thin, but it got even thinner when I had my near-death experience when I died at the car crash. It was quite interesting. My car spinned and then it stopped on the side of the road, and I was hit by an SUV. It was I call that chapter the miracle car crash because there was no way that I should have been alive. I remember that it was like I felt like somebody or something was suctioning my soul out of my body. It felt like a suction, and I found myself above the car, somewhere above the car, and I could see, hear, and feel everything that everybody down below was saying or thinking. It's like I could read their minds. So as I looked at where I was, it was like I don't know if I could call it a room, but it was a place where it was surrounded by this incredible, loving white light. And I recognized that white light from the memory recall from when I drowned. It was this white light that was very loving, very accepting, non-judgmental. And so I found myself in this area, and as I turned, I saw this very ornate table, and behind this table were 9 entities. They were wearing capes, brown capes, and I knew instinctively that the reason why they were wearing these capes was because it was for my benefit. They wanted me to know how many there were. Their face was just a white light. There was no definition. And even though they were there, I was here. I felt like they were just embracing me with this most incredible, loving energy. And I knew also instinctively that the one in the middle was the one that somehow made the decisions. The others were all there just to support me. And they kept saying, enjoy every breath that you take. And then suddenly I found myself back in the car. Again, I felt that suction of my soul getting back into the body. I started feeling the pain, and I was taken to the hospital. There were no broken bones, and my car was totaled. And as I kept on contemplating on that experience, it felt like I should have remembered more of what happened up there. So I talked to some people, and they suggested for me to go see somebody that does um, where you get taken back to the moment in time. And yes, and so I was able to go back, and I got even more details. I was given recorded. The session was recorded, and I was given that, and I was told that I needed to listen to it often, and then I would have more memorable recall of that. So it was the most incredible experience. I talking about veil of consciousness being thin. That made it even more so for me because the dreams were so vivid. I, I mean, the lights, regular lights that never bothered me, that they would hurt my eyes, my ears, my hearing was so sensitive, even to just normal talk. I was just, I felt like I was not myself. I was a mess. And I kept asking for help. I had a lot of black and blue marks, which I didn't want to take drugs, so I I took the, this. It's a cream that you put on the bruising and all that. Arnica, yeah. So that was very very helpful. I went to a chiropractor and all. I believe in non-traditional way of healing, so I did it through that. But it was not easy, and it doesn't get any better because I could be talking to somebody and they're having a normal conversation, and here I am thinking, this person is not speaking the truth. Why isn't she speaking the truth? In my mind, I'm saying all this, and it's like you could see, you could feel, hear, and see the way it truly is. And it's not easy. That's one thing that being in, the support group for here in Connecticut, having done that for 25 years, I can tell you that there are themes, there are similarity in all the near-death experiences, but one thing that we have in common is the fact that we're not afraid of dying, and we can, let's just put it this way, we can spot a bullshitter a mile away, okay? And I don't understand why people need to not speak the truth. That still is very confusing to me. So like I said, you kind of do the best you can with integrating yourself back into this life, but it's never going to be the same because you're not the same person. As a matter of fact, Bethany and Jim, they were working on creating a book on all the 12 steps for in the ears, which is very helpful. We work on that when we have our meetings a couple of times a month. We work on those steps. Very, very helpful. Anyway, so basically, that is it. I mean, I don't know. Deb, can you think of anything that I've missed?
Well, you might want to talk a little bit about your labyrinth and why you decided to create that, design that, and the meaning behind that. I found that.
Yeah, the labyrinth was, I was told I had these words in my head.
Here you go.
You must build a labyrinth, and I said, "What is a labyrinth?" So I had to do the research on what a labyrinth was. So I did that, and that was
I gotta take that. I can't
20
believe
years.
what's going on.
Am I still okay here?
Fine. I think it's someone else trying to ask a
All
question.
right, I'm good.
Go ahead.
All right. So I built a labyrinth 20 years ago, and it's It's the largest private one in Connecticut, and it's very energetic. And the more people walk it, the more energy it accumulates. Am I good?
I know.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, nothing. Is she got that? No. Start talking. Okay. Can you hear me now?
Am I good?
I see you. And
Can you hear me?
yeah, just 1 second. I'm sorry.
All right, no problem.
It's pinned. I'll unpin that. Yeah. Moving it. Yeah. This one, I think. No, because this doesn't have an issue.
You wanted a break anyway, right? Who is it?
It just says user.
User. Now it's pin. If you go to the top, to the lips there, the bar. See if you go over there to where it says ask, I don't know, if you go over here. Over here, I can't see what I'm doing. This is the lips right here, those 3 buttons.
Yeah. Ask to unmute, stop video chat, and remove pin.
There we go. The pinchy you.
I don't know where we went to.
I don't know where we went to.
Test.
Yeah, I can hear you.
I can hear both of you.
Leslie
Hear Tina and you.
I don't know why we're not showing up, but you know, let's. I don't know.
We don't know. Yeah. They've just been using. Just been using. I think so. Internet user, right?
No.
You think you have questions? Your assignment. All right. Well,
Yes, the speaker is selected. Yes. And we're not showing up.
You can hear us.
Deb, can you not hear Tina?
Leslie's talking now.
Yes.
Can you not hear Tina?
Yes, we can hear.
Yes.
Okay, because we can hear you and I heard Tina also.
Yes.
Do you see us? You see me?
Yes.
You do? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I can see you and Tina. Yes.
great.
Oh,
All right. Well, we'll go ahead and continue. We just lost the picture of me,
Okay.
but you don't really need to see me.
I can see you.
Yeah, I can see you too. Yep.
Now we can go back to Tina. Tina.
Okay.
All right.
We were talking
Okay.
about Labyrinth and how,
Yes, the labyrinth is it's been going on now for about 20 years, and it's open to the public. It's I'm getting I get the feedback from people that it's they receive lots of clarity when after they walk it. So I'm grateful that I listened to that. But one thing that I want to share is also about 27 years ago or so, I I saw the angel over the garage, and the angel is the same picture. Can you see this? It's my book, and the picture and the front of the front page is what I saw. I hired a great artist to work with me in creating that picture over my garage. Um, and I was that visit was quite interesting because I was told that she was the same one that used to come and visit me as a child in Italy. Except when I was a child, she didn't have wings. These wings were huge, and uh, and so the reason she came through like that, and she told me her name was Naomi, and that she had been with me since before Earth time, and she wanted to remind me that I chose her. She's my personal angel, and I chose her to be that as I proceed to do my work here on Earth. And I was reminded that it was important for me to just trust, allow, and they would do the rest, which was very helpful for me at the time because I didn't know if what was coming out of me was, where did it come from? I had my brain was at work instead of trusting my heart. So that was very pivotal time that visit was good to have. So I've been doing this work, trusting the process all along, and I see people, I uh, give messages and all that stuff. I do groups and all that. So I'm feeling extremely grateful to be of service in this way. Although sometimes people, I don't know what they think. They think I retain everything that comes through, which I don't. And so it's been, but the angels remind me a lot about the fact that I need to just practice humor because it's too difficult to do the work here on earth. So humor is important. So that was a good reminder for me. So Deb, do you think I should say any more? Should I open for question?
well, I do think we have a couple of questions. The title of your book, We Are Angels.
Oh yes, we are angels. Yes. You
You,
want to know how it came about?
yeah,
Because it's not a religious book, okay? And so I was making cupcakes. I have four granddaughters. The oldest one, Olivia, who was 4 at the time, uh, I said, Olivia, did I tell you that I'm writing a book? And she said, no, Mimi, you didn't. What is the title? I said, I have no idea. Well, why didn't you ask them? Because she and I had been talking about the other side and, angels and all that. So she put her little chin on the right side of her shoulder and she goes, she whispered, and she looked at me and she says, we are angels. I said, is that the title of the book? That's what they said, Mimi. So I kind of pushed it aside, thinking, okay, yeah, she's 4 years old. But then I started thinking, I wonder if that title exists. I checked, angels this, angels that, nothing with that same title. And it felt, in my heart, it felt like it was being saved for me. I was actually able to claim my website with the same title, weareangels.net.
so
So.
I found that very interesting, and I'm glad that you're talking with your grandchildren. I'm trying to talk with my grandchildren as well.
Yeah.
They're that age. They're 6 years old. But anyway, do you feel that we all angels are, do you believe that there are angels and then there are guardians and then there are, what are your thoughts on that?
I believe very strongly that no one comes on the earth uh, without any help available. I feel that we actually make contracts to experience, do the dramas with the people that we choose and all that. But there is help. We have angels to guide us, archangels, and also uh, others. Could be loved ones that have crossed over that decide that they want to be of help. It could also be people that have been on the earth, but not necessarily at our own time. You know, or there are some entities that never came on the earth. They just want to provide help to those that make the incredible journey here, because it's not easy.
Mhm.
We all have guides. There's no question about it. The thing to remember is that they're not supposed to interfere. So it's important for us to always remember to ask for help.
Um, Back to the labyrinth. So you decided to research labyrinths, and you decided to get a designer to help you design it and create it on your property.
Yes, I hired people to do it. I have 14 tons of rocks that form the 11 circles.
So you came, how did you come up with the 11 circle?
Because the 11 labyrinths are supposed to be built on odd numbers. It could be 5 circles, 7, 9, 11, 13. And I figured 11 was a good number because it fit the a quarter of an acre of land that I had available.
Okay.
So that's why. And I used to, for the longest time, used to be the largest one in Connecticut. But then a church in another town decided to create one outside of their church, and that's a 92. Mine is 84. This one is 92. So mine is the second largest, but it's the largest private one in Connecticut.
Okay. So it's open to the public, and then
Yes.
people come there and move through the labyrinth. And as they're moving through, are they meditating, or how are they using the labyrinth?
So as they walk the circles, it's kind of like a journey. You could go in with like prepared questions, or you could get in with an open mind to just be ready to receive whatever is necessary for you to receive at this stage of your life.
Mhm.
Okay, and I hear feedback from people that I've heard people say, "Oh my God, Tina, I came in with tons of questions. By the time I finished my journey, I had all my answers and then some."
Mhm. Okay.
And it's never the same. It depends on what it is, the need of the moment.
Mhm. Do you by chance have a picture of it that you could
Oh,
show me?
I can't. Let's see. There is a picture on my website of that, and there is also a picture in my book. But let me see if I can find in the book. I don't know what page, but I'll see what I can look at. It's been interesting, and I've noticed that the energy has changed sometimes. And when I work with people, and afterwards I feel like I'm more there than here. I feel like I need to ground myself, and so I go and sit just in the middle, and I see everything outside of the labyrinth like a flat, like a holographic imagery until I ground myself. So I don't know if you can see. Can you see this?
Yeah, there we go. Okay. If you talk, it will come up on the screen a little bit bigger.
If you go on my website, weareangels.net, there is a picture of that, and there is a red spot in the middle of the picture, which it's me. So you can tell actually how big it is.
Mhm. Okay. All right. Anyone else have a question or a statement or anything that you want to ask?
I have a question. It's
Right.
Leslie.
Leslie,
I,
go
Hi. When I was younger, I had a supposed imaginary friend that I had 5 sisters and working parents. So even though I had a lot of people in my family, I think that was very lonely. Didn't have many friends at the time. And my mom said I used to bring him everywhere. His name was Jonas. And my sister said that I used to get upset if they sat on him. I can remember it, but I can't. And I'm wondering now if that was an angel, or you think that would be possible?
I feel that definitely was one of your the main guide at the time.
Right,
And
because I don't remember him or saw him again since I was
yeah,
young.
right. One other thing that I don't think I mentioned is that when we become between the age of 7 and 8, the ego sets into our physical body, and then we kind of try to figure out things on our own rather than accepting things as they are. So spirit is with us up until the ego sets in, and unless you practice continuously, then it's kind of cast aside. But I do feel that that was definitely your main guide at that time.
Right. Thank you.
No, you're welcome.
And do you feel like after your NDE with the automobile accident, the swimming, the drowning, that you came back with the ability to be more like a medium, or you could channel?
Yes, I definitely feel that. And also that I was told that I wouldn't have to do this alone, that I would always have help just for the asking. That made me feel incredibly comfortable with that, with the, proceeding with what I had to do. But of course, when I died at the car crash, that the veil got even thinner. Let's put it that way. So I'm not so-called normal.
Mhm. Yeah, we've had several different speakers say that the more NDEs they've had, the veil gets thinner and thinner, and so
Yeah.
it becomes harder to live in this world, this very earthly, thick, dense world compared to being on the other side.
Knowing that the so-called other side is not scary because nobody's going to judge us except ourselves, it's definitely a good thing for those of us that are aware of that to be prepared for.
Mhm. Anyone else have a question or a comment? Or Tina? Serena has a question.
I can't hear.
She's gonna say it and then I'm gonna repeat it.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Okay. Serena's asking, what can you people now to help them? Do they go onto your website and reach out to you via website or your phone, or what can you do to help them?
Well, if I've had people call me and had a session. There's one particular lady, I spent 2 hours with her giving her a session, a reading. And about 2 weeks later, she called again and she said, I need another reading. So I said, hold on, let me tune in and see if you really do. And I was told very clearly, she doesn't need another reading. She needs to practice what she was given within those 2 hours. She wasn't happy with that answer. She probably went and found somebody else that was more than happy to take her money. But I can't work without that type of integrity. I feel if a person needs the reading or not. Okay. And I've also been told that, from people that say, Tina, I didn't get what I wanted, but it feels like this reading gave me what I needed. So I can never really promise anything that comes to, but I trust the process. That's what I was told. that what comes through, and I see, I hear, I feel. That's how I do sessions with people. People can also go on YouTube and listen to other interviews that I've had. I mean, they can reach out to me through my website, or if they wish to get in touch with me, through my email, please share with them.
Yes, I did share your email, website, and I think your phone number. Well, what I just recently was finishing up a book by Mark Anthony, The Afterlife Frequency, and he was saying just what you said, that sometimes what he shares with clients has to unfold, and what he's told them, that it sometimes doesn't make sense for a week, maybe 2 weeks, maybe a year. It has to kind of unfold.
That's right, because we're living in our earth that has time. There is no time on the other side.
Exactly. That's exactly what he said. Exactly. Everything that you right now goes right along with Mark Anthony's.
There is a theme with all of us that have had these experiences. Not necessarily all exactly the same, but there is a theme. Yes.
Yes. But what to me that says is, then there's truth to that. That's validity for those of us who have not had these experiences. It makes sense to me that he did a reading once for me, and at first I didn't understand what it meant until I talked to my sister, and then it began to unfold. So, like your client that you just met with, she got some information from you for 2 hours. Now, like you're saying, she needs to let it unfold, and maybe in a couple of months or weeks, or she'll understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, there was no way I was going to be able to do that in good conscience.
Right, right. Anyone else have any questions or statements? No? Martha? No? No? Well, I think you've really covered a lot. If you feel like you've shared with us everything that you want to today, we're very happy to let you go, and I've learned a tremendous amount myself.
I want to thank you very much for allowing me to speak, and also please do reach out if you wish. You want to do that. Do not be afraid. And basically, what the spirit always says is to trust the process.
Exactly. Trust the process. That's right.
Yeah.
Well,
and enjoy like the 9 entities that I saw at my car crash. Enjoy every breath you take. They said that more than once.
Right. And then you had to get back in that car, and you said that you smelled all those fumes from the bag.
That was awful. Yeah.
And I thought to myself, I didn't even know that when those bags explode, they have all that powder and stuff in them.
That was awful. That was awful smell. Yeah.
Tell me again.
That was definitely a miracle car crash.
It did sound like a miracle car crash. It really did. I think your book is so well written, and I hope everybody will read it. It's on Amazon. And so for sharing your story today, and I always try to get our guests to put everything in writing so that it can be passed down. I'm doing my own pre-writing. I'm going to use this recovery time from my spine to start writing my story. I'm like you, Tina. It's been in me for 10 or 15 years. It just now needs to come out on the paper. But
I think there's power in the written word.
There is power in the written word, and it stays there. And people can read it forever. So
and it's funny because I was very frustrated. I was mad at it. Why would I want to write a book. English is not even my main language. And then every time I would be frustrated, somebody would say, Tina, how's your book coming along? Oh, I'm having trouble with this and that. And somebody would say, oh, I can help you with that. It's
Yeah.
like the book had a life of its own. And I have help from the other side, help from here. It was meant to be.
Well, I do think they want you to tell your story, and that's why you got that help. I'm hoping to get that help too. But we really appreciate your time today, and we learned a great deal from you. You I know that you had a harder life because you had to live in Italy when it was years and years ago, 50, 60, 70 years ago. I'm not trying to date you.
That's okay. I'm an ageless soul.
But all of what you went through, the divorce, that wasn't culturally or during that time frame something to go through. I'm sure you weren't encouraged at all to get out of that abusive relationship. It does take courage, and it takes.
I do, Debbie, I do believe that we teach by example. So I know that by being the strong woman that I was, I feel that my kids learned from that, and they chose differently than I did as far as a partner.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. You were a good example of not staying where it's toxic and not staying where it's dangerous, and you made a hard decision, but like you said, you made it for your children, and they benefited.
Yeah.
And others will too. I mean, I think people in this room and people
Yeah,
listening.
I'm getting the feedback from people, and it's absolutely wonderful. But it was like a purge when it finally was out of me. Felt like the most incredible purge.
Right, right. Yeah. Well, we're so glad you shared today. So thank you so much. And let's go.
Thank you, Deb. I appreciate you, all you do. You're a wonderful lady. I love you. You take care of yourself.
Thank you. We
God
love
bless.
you. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye. And